I want to attempt to put words to the infamous phrase, the black struggle. Too often, when someone throws this phrase around, they don't have the ability to articulate what really is the black struggle to the listener, and the listener is left confused and lost. Like, what? I still don't understand what the problem is. You got affirmative action. You have all kinds of government programs. How is it that you're still struggling? Well, let's first start off with affirmative action. Now, before I even start, let me just make this very clear. I do not agree with affirmative action. There was a time where it made sense when it first came out because blacks we just didn't have not nearly the amount of growth as whites did at that time. Whites was leagues above us with all kinds of stuff. So it made sense to give us affirmative action then. But now it has mutated into this weird catch-all, include-all type thing. Instead of blacks should get affirmative action, now it's minorities should get affirmative action. And you could thank the Democrats for that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You can thank them. And there was a good reason for that. I don't know their exact reason. I can only, guesstimate what their real reason behind that was. But you can tell that they had a reason behind it. Maybe it was just to get more votes. Maybe it was just that selfish mentality, or maybe because they are really trying to keep the black person down or whatever. Who knows? Who really knows the exact reason? Which is irrelevant right now. But I do not agree with affirmative action. I think it is a hoax. I think it's a way to help people not achieve their full potential and survive off of that alone. I think that's what it is. But that's neither here or there. Let's get into the part of the video that I really want to get to. And that is why affirmative action is not really a big deal for a white person and why it's such a deal for blacks. Let's say you are an engineer, right? Or you are a technician or any of the STEMs, which a lot of whites go for. And you're up against a white woman or a black man for this position. Chances are you will lose to that white or black, that minority, simply because they have to fill a quota. But look at the level you're on. You're way the fuck up here. Way up here. Where the average minority can't even think to reach. So even though it may suck that you have gotten passed up for this position because you are a white man, one, you only guessing that because you really don't know. It's not like they come to you and say, this is the reason why you was denied and give you exactly play by play why they denied you the job. And two, even if you did know, you have so many other places you can go to get a position in your field. It's not the same density of people where you are. Whereas where I am, as a minority, who qualify for all the benefits of affirmative action, I'm competing with everybody else that benefit from affirmative action as well. I'm down here, right, where most minorities usually hover. So, which one is worse? Being denied a job from up here where you can easily go and find another position from another company who's already have their quota filled, where not only is it hard to reach and the fact that most minorities are not there, but the fact that you can still get a position at another company. Or being down here where wiping asses for $10 an hour and changing diapers for $10 an hour is a big deal because too many people can get this job. This is the difference between affirmative action and taking whatever you can. And that's where I am, and that's where most minorities are. We're here. Okay? Now, case in point, being here is a choice. I agree with you on that. But then you go to the next step or the next level, which is far worse than just choosing to be here. And that is the culture. Our culture as black people is the reason why most blacks are here. It's not because we don't have the mentality to get where you are or the do with all to get where you are. We do have the skills. We have the tools. And if we don't have the skills, we can get the skills. I mean, everybody, there's a school around every corner that'll teach you how to be an electrician and all that other stuff. The problem is that we're not taught to think that way as blacks. We're not. We don't have, I said this in one of my other videos. Look at black men and black boys and black girls who were adopted by white families who are basically ripping it. They killing it because they was given a different mentality, a different culture, a different mindset to tackle the world. So they're killing it simply because they were raised differently. When you're raised in a poverty mentality, an atmosphere, which is very toxic, mind you, when you're raised in an environment where you get whatever you can get and try to get it for free, that's all you know. And that's all you know. We have geniuses on the corner right now selling drugs and doing everything they can to survive, but they're geniuses. Their minds are way up there. But as far as, ability, but they don't know anything other than the streets. So they don't know that they can excel. See, imaging is everything. If you walk around every day and your reality reflects something completely different from what they're putting on television, it's very difficult to excel to that height. Because I don't see it in my day-to-day. I don't see black men doing great. I see black men on the corner asking and begging for money. So it's quite difficult for me to believe that I can make it when my dad left us and my mom, dealing with all kind of ain't shit niggas and my siblings are half siblings and it's like 7 of us in a 2-bedroom apartment. Like, it's hard, very hard to achieve greatness when when you're dealing with that. Yes, people do break through. I'm not saying you can't, but look at the fields that they usually go into. It's usually entertainment. It's whether it's basketball, football, comedy, singing, things like that. My nose is doing this stupid thing again. I can't stand when it does this. But it seems to be more on the entertainment side than the ownership side, the building things side, the creation of things side. It's usually not there. You don't see a lot of black people going to the STEMs because why? We don't even think to go into the sciences. We don't think to do that. We think, yo man, if I just work on my game and I can make it to the NBA. That's what we think. Because that's the only way we get out. You got men that are 40 years old that still battle rap. Like, really, you're not going to make it, my nigga. But they that's all they know, and that's all they got left. And they believe I can get through. I have to. And it gets to a point where we get to a point of no return. We done did this thing for so goddamn long that we can't even double back. We just can't. We've passed the point where it's this and nothing else. That's the black struggle. The black struggle is having to prove that I am not one of them. The black struggle is competing on a level with other minorities. The black struggle is not knowing how to get out of this. The black struggle is asking for help and not receiving it. The black struggle is doing whatever you can to survive. That's the black struggle. And yes, there are many people that are not black, who are actually white, who go through the same struggles. I get it. But you're at a different level of play than we are. It's a lot more room there than it is down here. And I think that's what most black people have missed when trying to explain the black struggle. Hold on, let me just blow my nose. Give me 1 second. Excuse me. But I think that's one of the biggest things that black people miss when trying to explain this is that it's no room down here. Like we're bumping into each other. Like, you know, I'll go to a job interview and I'll see the very person that I went to the last job interview at that fucking interview. Like, it's insane how it is. And because it's so crowded down here, they don't pay you nothing. Like, it's insane. They just don't pay you enough. So yeah, a lot of blacks do try to get over on everybody else because that's all they know to survive. I'm not saying it's a right thing. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but it is what it is because that's where we are. We're just not there. You know, affirmative action was meant for us, not for not for Jesus and his 7 kids. It was for me and mine, right? But we don't get that anymore. It's been mutated, so we don't get that ability. So we can't even benefit from the freaking affirmative action. We just don't, because we're up against people who also get the same benefits. So it sucks. And it's so many things more than that, than just that. But those are the biggest reasons why a person spews the black struggle. Again, it's hard to articulate when you don't sit down and think about it, or when you're caught off guard in a moment. But that's the black struggle, man. Having to compete with people on such a low level for so little. It's like somebody threw $1 million off of the Empire State Building at 7 o'clock. No, let's say 5 o'clock p.m. Somebody throws $1 million off of the Empire State Building, and it just comes down. How many people are going to get wealthy off of that? Hell, how many people will actually get $1? And what's going to happen when it does hit the ground? That's the black struggle. Fighting so many for so little. Hope that helps.